Before this courtroom even gets started, understand what's at stake here: a first-degree felony, a possible decade behind bars, and accusations involving the exploitation of a 16-year-old child. The defendant claims she didn't know the girl was underage, but prosecutors argue ignorance doesn't erase responsibility. What began as prostitution quickly turned into something far more serious in the eyes of the law. Today, the judge must answer one brutal question: was this a tragic mistake or deliberate exploitation? And by the end of this hearing, one decision will permanently change this woman's life.
Called State of Texas versus Tory Morgan. That is you?
Yes.
This is a cap of 10 years imprisonment. So it's a first degree felony. You are looking at no less than 5, no more than 10 years confinement in prison. Deferred or unadjudicated probation can be allowed. Is regular probation also an option here in this case? I'm not aware it's not.
I think it is, Judge.
I think you can be sentenced up to 10 years in prison, and that could be suspended, and you could be placed on regular probation, but that's a conviction. I'm looking at this pre-sentence report. How old was the child here?
16, Judge. 16.
Okay.
This situation, let me just first of all say that we're asking for deferred adjudication because she has no recorded criminal history whatsoever. This was a situation where she was, as acknowledged in the pre-sentence report, was personally involved in prostitution and working out of one of these hotels in Belmont where they're well known for prostitution activities. The little girl, the 16-year-old, was there doing the same thing at the same time. As indicated in the report, they met up, and this lady, obviously having more experience in this line of work, was helping her with advertising between the two of them, and they were participating in proceeds from that.
At this point, the defense is strategically leaning into mitigation rather than denial. Notice what they're doing. They're not arguing innocence. Instead, they're emphasizing lack of criminal history, remorse, and the possibility of rehabilitation through deferred adjudication. In Texas courts, deferred adjudication can allow a defendant to avoid a formal conviction if probation is successfully completed. But here's the complication: once a minor becomes involved, the legal system shifts dramatically. The court now isn't just evaluating poor judgment, it's weighing community protection and moral accountability. So the real question becomes, should a clean record outweigh the harm caused to a child?
The biggest problem is we had an underage person that was involved in it, and she wasn't aware that she was underage at the time. Told Ms. Morgan that she was of legal age, and basically they were just both participating in this illicit activity together. It's not a good thing. It never has been. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the world. She does not have a criminal history. She realizes that it was wrong. She also realizes, as stated in the pre-sentence report, that she would like to get her life together herself, and maybe find something a whole lot better to do in life than this. And I think she's expressed a good deal of remorse about this, with the idea that she wants to clean up herself, as well as showing remorse for what happened here. No criminal history for crimes of any sort, eligible for deferred adjudication probation. We think she's worth an opportunity to give her a shot at doing it. So we're asking for it.
State.
It's hard to say what's the right thing to do with a scenario like this. It is true that she has no felony court history. But to really hang your hat on that is, in my mind, is a mistake, because she admits to all kinds of criminal conduct that should have been charged. So the bottom line is, this is just the first time she got caught. What she's done here is been deliberately ignorant about what somebody's age was and got a 16-year-old involved in the same criminal conduct, which is why this is an offense. It's why it's a first-degree felony. So when we look at that, the legislature, when they wrote it up, didn't say, well, on first-time offenders, we're always going to do X. you got to look at each situation and consider what is appropriate. To say that this happens at a known place where this occurs, I don't agree with that statement either. Unfortunately, crimes occur in our county, and this is one of them. And when it comes down to when we're going to determine what's the right thing to do, this lady assisted a 16-year-old to post nude photographs of herself online to encourage grown men to come and have sex with her. That's why I wasn't going to offer probation. That's why I made a cap agreement, because I can't in good conscience say that somebody that does that with a teenager, if you don't like the word child, to say that that's okay, and that we're going to say that when that occurs, that the right thing to do is say, oh, well, I didn't know how old she was. And no, I've never been caught before, so let me have probation.
This is where the tone of the courtroom completely changes. The prosecutor reframes the case from prostitution to exploitation, arguing that this wasn't simply two adults making bad choices, it involved actively helping a teenager advertise sexual services online. Legally, that distinction matters enormously. Prosecutors are highlighting what's called deliberate ignorance, meaning choosing not to verify something you reasonably should have known. And jurists often view that almost as seriously as intentional wrongdoing. Listen carefully here, because from this moment forward, prison time begins sounding less like an option and more like an inevitability.
Because I'm planning on standing in this courtroom on cases that involve same or similar facts, I want to stay consistent. And to me, this warrants prison time.
Okay.
Was not aware this person was underage, and this person also was doing it on her own before the two got involved. It's not like she trafficked her into that business. They were both there engaging in prostitution. They just started working together, which is no excuse, but certainly, in my opinion, does not warrant prison time on a first offense like this. I say give her a shot. I think she's been very forthcoming in her statements about her life, the problems that she's had, and she really wants to clean up her life as well as quit doing this, not just involving this other person, but involving herself as well. And I think the best way to do it is give her a shot at it. And that's what Deferred does. When you're looking at a first degree felony, if she messes up on deferred adjudication, I mean, that's up to anywhere from 5 years to life in prison. So I think that's a pretty big hammer hanging over her head. But I think it's worth a shot, and she's worth a chance at redemption.
Anything you want to say?
If I would have known that girl was not 18, that whole situation would have went completely different.
In what way?
I definitely wouldn't have posted her, and definitely would have took different precautions after I had helped her get her things from.
But you would have continued the prostitution ring going if she was older than a child, right? That's what you were doing. You were running a prostitution ring, weren't you? Oh, you weren't? I'm sorry. You created and posted online advertisements on Skip the Games, a website known for prostitution, advertising both you and the child. You admitted to requesting and posting nude photographs of the child, which were used in the advertisements. Is my probation officer false and misleading me, or is that true?
That is true.
Yeah, you were running a prostitution ring. Thank you for helping the quality of Beaumont get better. This is what this city is supposed to stand for? Prostitution, vice? Well, you were responsible for it. You were the madam. No, too many good people are in this town and this county. We don't need people like you who just think it should be used for immoral purposes only. That's immoral.
Yes, sir.
So you do it anyway. You're trying to say, I didn't realize she was younger than 18. So let me go home. You kind of drag down what we're all trying to keep maintained, and that is a quality of life. So people can come to this county and enjoy life in spite of you. You understand, but you continue to do it.
That's not what I want for my life anymore.
It's not what you want.
What you're witnessing now is judicial credibility testing. The judge isn't just asking questions, he's evaluating sincerity, accountability, and remorse in real time. Courts often look for acceptance of responsibility, but the judge clearly believes the defendant's regret came only after arrest, not before. That distinction heavily influences sentencing decisions. Notice how the focus repeatedly returns to the child's harm rather than the defendant's circumstances. In sentencing philosophy, this reflects a victim impact perspective where consequences to vulnerable individuals outweigh explanations about personal hardship. Do you think the judge is being fair here? Or has the courtroom already decided her fate?
Why? Because you got caught. It wasn't your choice. No, you got caught. This wasn't your choice. Then you're just worried about you. Well, how about the child that you misled, and corrupted? Any remorse for that, her soul and her life?
Major.
Yeah, well, you promoted her. You know better.
Judge, it's no excuse, but I think, again, she was very forthcoming about her family history as well. And I think it says a lot, the way she was phrased, that she's been in foster care since she was 12 years old herself because both of her parents were incarcerated. You know, she didn't.
How did that work out for you?
She didn't grow up with very good
how did that
parents.
work out for you?
Not the greatest.
Well, so why would you make life miserable for someone else if you knew that wasn't the quality of life? All right.
She's not a very good role model. But anyway, again, it's no excuse, but just maybe an explanation of how she got involved in these type of things.
Anything else?
Got the law enforcement's attention was the 2-for-1 special they were running, posting on Skip the Games. So I looked to see if that information was highlighted in the PSI.
Of course, she and the child would work together.
Yes, sir.
In the sexual act.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, I think we feel dirty enough already talking about all of this.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
I am following this agreement. You are, which is a cap of 10 years imprisonment. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term.
And there it is, the maximum sentence allowed under the agreement, 10 years in prison. Despite arguments for rehabilitation, the judge makes it unmistakably clear that organizing and profiting from activity involving a minor crosses a line this court refuses to overlook. Sentencing statements like this serve two purposes: punishment and deterrence. The judge is sending a broader message to the community that exploitation cases, especially involving teenagers, will result in severe consequences. The emotional language you hear now isn't accidental. It reinforces the moral gravity behind the legal ruling.
10 years. What is the price? What is right of the loss of innocence of a child? I keep repeating that. That was your fault. That was yours. You, by marketing her for sexual purposes and making money off of it. Shame on you.
Didn't.
You hurt this city and county. We stand for something of more of a quality of life than that. That is immoral. It's illegal. And you were the madam. You were the person responsible for it. You were the organizer and the manager of it. Shame on you. But shame on anybody who promotes prostitution. Do you understand what's happened? That is all.
Your Honor, may I ask the court to consider withholding imposition of the sentence and placing her on regular probation?
Yeah, I've considered that. You organized it. You think that is what that's what this court stands for, is making light out of that? No. When we catch you, you're going to be prosecuted. You're going to be punished. Shame on you. Shame on you. It has a price. It has a value, which our Creator gave. You should never take that away. Shame. But you will pay a price, and anyone in your situation on my watch will. We stand for something better than that in this area. Shame. We're setting good examples as best we can in spite of you. You need to fix your mess.
Your Honor.
Yeah, it's just not you. You're harming others. Children. That's why you're sentenced. That is all.
This case ultimately came down to responsibility versus intent. While the defense argued ignorance and a chance for redemption, the court determined that facilitating prostitution involving a 16-year-old demanded accountability at the highest level permitted under law. The judge emphasized community standards, protection of minors, and the irreversible harm caused when adults profit from vulnerable individuals. The final ruling, 10 years imprisonment, reflects how seriously courts treat offenses tied to exploitation, regardless of prior criminal history. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.